This episode is made possible by NetSuite by Oracle and Brex, the AI-powered spend platform.
Hi, this is Bill Zarella. I'm the CFO of ACV Auctions, and you are listening to the CFO Thought Leader.
This is episode 966.
Uncertain terms on investor minds is number one, especially if you're in the services business. Will AI and ChatGPT replace your offering? Question two on investors' minds, how are you utilizing it to have your competitive advantage? And that is top of mind on investors across the board.
Hi, it's Jack. On today's episode, we speak with Michael Perica, CFO of Rimini Street. CFO Michael Perica's career journey began with an opportunity to work as a junior analyst for a national capital markets firm, where he would find a billionaire mentor. According to Perica, his association with the billionaire would ultimately offer him access to influential networks and unique opportunities. From his early days onward, Perica tells us he became skilled at building connections with successful individuals, an expertise that would open doors to a diverse range of opportunities. Or so he explains on today's episode. We'll begin after this. 37,025-1. These are the three numbers to remember to get the visibility and control you need to make the right business decisions instantly. 37,000. That's the number of businesses which have upgraded to NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, streamlining accounting, financial management, inventory, HR, and more. 25. NetSuite turns 25 this year. That's 25 years of helping businesses do more with less, close their books in days, not weeks, and drive down expenses. 1. Because your business is one of a kind, you should get a customized solution for all of your KPIs in one efficient system and with one source of truth. Manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Everything you need, all in one place. Right now, download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist designed to give you consistently excellent performance, absolutely free, at netsuite.com/KPI. That's netsuite.com/KPI. By saying hello, we're speaking with Michael Perica, CFO of Rimini Street. Hey, Michael, welcome.
Thank you, Jack. Hello.
So we're going to take you back where we always do with finance leaders, look back in time. And we're wondering, what were those experiences you feel prepared you to become a finance leader?
So, Jack, there's an event that occurred very early in my career, 1995. I graduated undergraduate accounting 1994, Central Michigan University. Interviewed with three of the big six accounting firms at that time, and saw that there was a national capital markets firm that was hiring research analysts. I said, this is more for myself. Got the role. We're a junior analyst. And within a year of this role, I was able to spend time with the founder, an eccentric billionaire. And he took me aside and he spoke to me. And he said, Michael, he said, you have an opportunity that you don't even see here. You are a young individual, fresh out of school, with energy, and I'm giving you access to the captains of industries, CEOs and CFOs that want your time. He said, spend as much time as you can. These are some of the brightest business minds, the most successful folks. Learn from them. Folks are in their careers for decades before they have access to the C-suite, much less even board level. And Jack, that changed my outlook. that changed my investment in my career, in myself. It made me better analyst and guided me to where I wanted to be ultimately today as a CFO.
Kind of alerted to you when you think about it in those terms. It woke you up to the idea that you might not have this doesn't come every day. What are you experiencing exactly?
So at that moment, I initially, it made me obviously heed that advice, reflect on how unique, what position I was in versus the 80 hours a week. As you can appreciate with Wall Street firms and capital markets, that was a shock to the system. Coming out of undergraduate, having a wonderful time, what it took to be successful. I was around very brilliant folks in that industry, both on, as we call it, the sell side, the money managers, the buy side, and then, of course, these leaders in these corporations and learning these industries. So I would listen to so many conference calls. I would read so much, not only about these individuals and their career journeys. And now, this was to make myself a more competitive, a better equity analyst, publishing your buy, sell, and hold. But through my career journey, I realized that many folks wanted to go from publishing research in the sell side to going to the buy side and becoming a master of the universe money manager, mainly a hedge fund manager. And I realized, Jack, that's not the path I want. And from that conversation that happened within 1 year of my career, I said, I'm more interested in getting into industry and becoming a public company CFO. I find it more rewarding. I find it more fulfilling, and in an area I believe I can add value. So I was molding my career, a few years into being a sell-side analyst to hopefully get there one day. It was very, very impactful and insightful, and something that I attribute immensely to my success and to building my entire skill set.
What ultimately becomes your door of entry into industry? I mean, did you step into a CFO role, or was there a step or two below?
Once again, I'm very thankful for the opportunity. I published equity research for 12 years of my career, pre and post the global research settlement. Before the global research settlement, I'm dating myself here. That was in 2001. We were able to wall cross and be involved in strategic decisions. I really appreciated advisory decisions, helping those that we published in the industry, et cetera. Had an excellent relationship with the CEO. We were at dinner. I remember the restaurant in New York City in 2006. And he says, Michael, I need somebody that is a finance strategic thinker, not coming from the audit accounting world, the debits and credits world. I'd like you to be my CFO. I'd like to come get your MBA, start as a treasurer, 2 years, get your MBA and be my CFO. So I was very fortunate through building relationships with these captains of industries, your CFO and CEOs, that the opportunity presented itself. Jack, it was very fortuitous. I'm very thankful, and actually saw that individual a couple of weeks ago. We still keep in touch. It was a wonderful entry into the corporate side.
What is it, the quality that you have there? You seem to engage C-suite individuals, and this person was willing to say, hey, get your MBA, you'll be my guy. An outstanding invitation, one would imagine. But what is who are you back then? You're just someone who can really make an impression, and they see the potential for you, I guess.
I would assume so, and it's worked out well for what I believe every role that I have had. And it was my questions and interactions were so much different with him as they were with any other C-suite. I was so interested and intrigued by their strategic decisions, their deployment of capital, their investments versus, hey, what is the next catalyst for the stock, right? Trying to get that edge in investing. I wasn't that type of equity research analyst. Moreover, as I finished my career on the equity research side with the last Wall Street firm, I was director of research, and I was mentoring young analysts. And the industry shifted. And this is what really told me, okay, I was right about the time saying I'm going to have to embark on this journey to get over to the corporate side where I want to be, a public company CFO. And the type of equity research product that had to be put out there was more tailored towards where the commissions were coming on the desk. So there's more short-term focused, catalyst-focused hedge fund investing. Versus early in my career, a lot of strategic conversations with these long-only mutual funds that would be focused on what's the ROI, what's the investment opportunity, where do they fit in the industry, the competitive dynamics. That shifted on the type of research product that one could monetize with the Wall Street firms. And it's since changed. I mean, I left that side of the business in 2006. Very thankful for that. But that was, Jack, that was how I approached the role. I learned as much as I could and even obtained data on these entities that even surprised CFOs and CEOs, where I would get many times, well, how did you know that? Where did you get that? And that's where you know you're doing an insightful job, and that's where clearly saw that approach I had, saw that there was value where I was structuring and moving my career and where I wanted to be, and it was so fortuitous. I remember the restaurant, like I said, I remember the year, not exactly the date, but and he was a wonderful mentor. He was an excellent mentor.
I'm wondering if you could just share with us your equity research chapter. How many years is that? And now this new opportunity where you join as a treasurer. What's the investment of years you're making with these companies?
So 12 years on Wall Street, and it was a wonderful run, of course, and it worked out so well for myself and also positioned me to be even more successful as ultimately a CFO. After joining Channel Commercial in 2006 as a treasurer, it was 2 years as a treasurer at Channel Commercial, and wonderful access to learn. And it was initially very intimidating to learn the inner workings, the plumbing on the true accounting in an organization. Global manufacturer, vertically integrated, very complex accounting that took a solid 2 years to learn how this works. Similar approach that I applied in my 12 years of investing in knowledge. I applied deep into the organization, built the relationships, got my MBA, then became the CFO. And that was a 4-ish year period, went from public to private. And oh, by the way, thrust in 2008, we probably remember a thing called the global financial crisis, the Great Recession. And needless to say, it was a challenging period. So stepping into the CFO role with a global financial crisis, with challenges on the top and the bottom line and being battle tested. Those were interesting years, but something that you don't wish on anybody, but made me a better executive getting through that.
I know that we want to talk to you about Rimini, but you have another CFO or two CFO chapters before arriving there, one with Alpha. Share with us your career years there. What were those about?
And Alpha Technologies, the CEO, was an executive at Channel Commercial, moved on up in the Northwest, where I am now, in metropolitan Seattle here, one of the leading providers of power conversion systems to wireline and wireless networks. They needed to professionalize their finance organization, closely held entity. So made the leap, came up to the wonderful region, and joined to initially from a consulting role for the international side to professionalize that. Then the Office of CFO was created for myself, and it was a wonderful journey of growth and some strategic elements that I'd like to share more depth later. That made a very fulfilling, a large difference in the business that led to a very successful exit. And it was a very global entity that had immense value around the world, and great organization. It was a wonderful time there.
Okay, so we'll hear some more about. Will you be zeroing in on that transaction, the final transaction there, the exit?
No, the positioning and the growth and the value creation prior that made it a very successful transactions. Transactions are transactions in my view. All the work's done before the transaction. There's a lot of work in the transaction itself, but making a successful transaction happens in all of the hard work and the strategy and the allocation of capital before. Then that part is relatively mechanical.
Understood. Well put. Thank you for that. We are up to our what we refer to as the business segment. We want to find out about Rimini Street. Can you fill us in about this company? What's it about today, and what are its offerings?
Absolutely, Jack. Rimini Street is the world's largest third-party support provider for major software platforms. We are in the client-first services business. Nobody can do it better than us, mainly supporting the large enterprise resource planning. You probably heard these ERP systems, your core systems of record, major systems that are deployed worldwide. In many instances, there isn't an entity too large, too deep, greater breadth that we cannot service. And Jack, there's an interesting story how I came to Rimini Street and why I was enthralled in coming to Rimini Street. And that is when I received the call for Rimini Street, I was running an SAP system. I share this many times with investors. And when I have the opportunity to meet with some of our clients or our client appreciation events, large at Alpha Technologies, a large ECC6 system. At Channel Commercial prior to that, a large standardized on the Oracle system. And I was forced into upgrades, Jack. I was forced into a take it or leave it contract, couldn't negotiate. I foolishly, early on, wanted to do what's right for the organization, negotiate a contract. It was a take it or leave it. I got a call that Rimini Street existed. And I said, oh my goodness, there's tremendous value to this. Oh, there's an opportunity here. There's a wonderful growth opportunity. I'd like to learn more. And that's what got me excited about the opportunity. And something came to Rimini Street. We are a NASDAQ listed entity. We're publicly traded, and it's been a wonderful run. And I can't even tell you how fulfilling it is every day to just help other executives on the other side break through the barrier of the difficult and challenging environment and being dictated by the vendors on their roadmap, not the client or the corporate strategic roadmap.
Curious, how large a workforce does Rimini have today?
We're over 2,000 employees. We have, operations in 22 countries. We service clients in 120 countries. As I said, we have a global presence. We are roughly 50%, a little bit over 50% U.S., 50% rest of the world. We have major centers of excellence in the U.S., in South America, in Brazil, as well as India. We have hundreds of engineers. So we can follow the sun. When we have our priority cases, we're on it in minutes. We give updates every few minutes to make sure we resolved. We're about delivering results, and nobody can do it better than us. And we're really proud of that.
So you stepped into the CFO office roughly 3 years ago, I believe, then, which takes us back to the COVID. I don't even know if the vaccine was out just yet. Can you just tell us a little bit about stepping into the role and what were your sort of priorities at that time? What was the chapter you were supposed to open?
So, Jack, I started in October of 2020, and I went through the interview process like this, never shook anybody's hand, and joined in the C-suite, which was awkward, and did not meet my colleagues until after the vaccine in May of 2021. That was very memorable. It was really a unique set of circumstances, I would say, right? Wouldn't see that happening again. And it was an enlightening entry And as far as an arrival, it was it was a wonderful team that I inherited, Jack, and really from a leadership perspective, an area I'd like to touch on is both with my capital markets, what I would call a more of a right brain. And this is C-suite executives, mainly CFOs, are looked at this way from a recruiting element more than others, in my opinion, because traditionally coming from the accounting side is very process oriented. As you probably have heard, we have this whole control environment that we need is very process oriented on your accounting. And then we have the allocation of capital, more of the forward thinking, the strategic finance area where you have a right brain. And I spent a lot of time, not only with my leadership, the staff, to see where folks excel, what their skill sets are, and match that in the function in the organization. And that's something I actually enjoy. And one of the key areas in my career now, and tying into mentoring, which is something that I really enjoy at this stage of my career. So it was a wonderful entry with a great opportunity with great talent.
Understand better how you look into this organization today. It's a technology-driven business, clearly. What would you tell us about your lines of sight into this business? What are the numbers you're looking at almost daily?
So, Jack, we're expanding our offering where we have a unique set of analytics that are needed that weren't previously. Our focus on unit economics from our core support offering is a responsive offering. And we have the best response and the best resolution. We're expanding our offerings into managed services where it is deliverables. It is a different pricing model. So from a overall organization, not the organization, my organization, that needs to lead greater insight into unit economics is a shift. And we're in this transition now. I'm excited for it. The finance organization in our structure, and we're all behind it, can lead a significant strategic shift and ultimately success in this organization by servicing our clients deeper and better and give them a greater set of solutions. So there's so much more data that's needed beyond our financial data that's going to make the organization successful to understand our pricing discovery. Understand where we are more competitive, how to price appropriately to add the right value to our clients in this expanded solutions offering.
Could you tell us maybe some of the steps that you've taken to increase your lines of sight into those unit economics? I mean, were there some initial meetings, no doubt, that were, I don't know who might be involved. Maybe it's your planning team. Maybe it's your data team you're bringing together. How do we begin, tracking these more closely? How do we study this customer interaction so we know renewals are on pace? What took place?
You touched on all of the above. It is a full look through our IT organization, through our existing systems, what's available in the market, and through the delivery organization that ultimately delivers the revenue to the organization, to our clients, that we translate into revenue. We have a data science group as well. And then, of course, my planning team, my accounting team, our product management team on our product taxonomy. How are we going to structure this for not only what we offer today, the next 3 to 5 years, of what our organization is going to look like, and even 10 years and beyond, and putting this holistically versus the finance organization putting itself into the room, putting it on the whiteboard, and then coming out with it. No, it's a collaborative process. And Jack, I don't think it would be as successful as an outcome as I'm very confident is going to be in this organization that will ultimately add value to our clients and to our stakeholders and shareholders. So this is an enterprise-wide. There was a lot of work, preparatory work, and then an enterprise-wide launch and having folks buy in to this initiative.
Did you, organizationally, did you make any changes? I mean, are there finance people that you've created new positions for, or, dedicated more of their time, clearly in this direction, one would imagine? I don't know, but how did you organizationally make sure to support what you're trying to do?
Absolutely, and as the organization evolves, the strategy evolves. Our group needs to evolve, and this is more on the, as I call it, the raw finance, the right brain side versus the GL side, but need to work together and have to draw a line through that, as well as our tax and our treasury. Because functions, resources, and technologies, given our global presence, need to be allocated and utilized appropriately around the world. Yes, there are dedicated finance business partners, FBPs, as we call them, that are allocated in leading these initiatives, these functions, and these projects, and elevated individuals for ownership of this, which is very fulfilling, right? To work them along their career trajectory to obtain their ultimate goals.
What did you refer to them as? What did you?
FBP, the finance business partner.
Okay. A group of your FBPs are down the hall and they're gathered around a conference table, and Michael swings open the door. What are they thinking Michael's going to ask them for?
If I come in the room and I'm asking for something, I haven't done my job. They are empowered. They have the clarity. They're in the room for a reason with their cohorts, and I'm in that room when I'm doing my job correctly, Jack. And this is grading myself. And if it's more so, do you have the right resources? Is the plan correct? What didn't we see? Do we need to alternate? Do we need to pivot? And that's what the conversation is going to be around. Now, ultimately, there are going to be some areas that we did not see where they had to ask myself to weigh in. And sometimes the data is available to make the decision and or take their recommendations, right, across the group. But otherwise, I shouldn't be asking for anything new because they're in there for a purpose and they have their direction.
Now, you have to share the story with your shareholders and analysts out there. You have to explain we're on this journey. We're getting in tight with our unit economics. We're studying them closely. What is the message you continue to send them? Clearly, you're providing them with some insight into here's the part of the business that's changing. Here's where we're going. Here's what we can show you. Here's where we expect to be. How am I doing? Am I close to what the dialogue might be, or how is it different?
In no uncertain terms, right? Insofar as the P&L evolves as you have this business shift. Also, being a publicly traded entity, right? We have a lot of that dialogue. You have the forward look, and we are sending our signals that the economic model ultimately will get to the same place, but the path that we get there and the combination of how it gets from the top line to the gross margin to the ultimate profitability will be an evolving and a changing path, and this is where we continue to educate, continue to guide, and provide insights as how this is going to evolve.
Any lessons from the IR side of things? You stepped in 3 years ago. You've been sharing the story. You've learned a few things along the way as the analyst asks questions and what have you. And here you are. Any lessons that you've learned from the IR side of things?
So had pretty strong prep in the first 12 years of my career in capital markets and the Wall Street firms from the IR side, right? The questions are not too dissimilar, but I will say prior to 2023, Jack, where capital availability was quite available, right? And it was relatively inexpensive capital. And there was a lot of talk around folks are concerned with growth. Folks are concerned with ESG, right? And it was on everybody's mind. 2023 has shifted. It was it was a radical shift over to profitability, an area we have always been focused on, a proper balance of growth and profitability. Obviously, servicing our clients first, because that's how all of this happens. And then there was this unveiling of this chat general purpose technology. And 2023, Jack, in no uncertain terms on investor minds is number one, especially if you're in the services business, will AI and ChatGPT replace your offering? Question one. Question two on investors' minds. Okay, if not, which is not for us, wouldn't occur in our offerings. Question two, how are you utilizing it to have your competitive advantage? And that is top of mind on investors across the board. And that's how we've seen an evolution here. And this is they're not too dissimilar waves, right? With regard to top of mind issues on investors and how captains of industries and the C-suite leaders are managing these opportunities, these threats, where they're coming from, how they're coming at you. Are they impactful to you? Impactful to your client base? And those are wonderful discussions. Some that I've had thousands of those with investors from the first, given the first 12 years of my career, and also, being sitting in a public company CFO chair.
Can we explore that maybe a little more with you? How will AI be used to continue to sharpen the competitive advantage that Rimini has?
We actually have some patented technologies even before AI became on the discussion on everyone's minds, not only investors. We have the proprietary patented technology for our caseload, our workforce management, where we can align, as I indicated, with our global centers of excellence. Not only some machine learning and AI tools that we have developed ground up, that so we can allocate the right resource. And this is how we have the best resolution and utilizing these technologies and allocating the best talent base that we have. So we've already been using this in deploying in our delivery operations. And it really, and this is the approach to continue for process improvement in our innovation at Rimini Street that we're really proud of, and makes us really cut above the rest, definitively cut above the rest in what we offer in our client experience.
We're going to jump to our finance strategic moment question, where we're hoping you'll go back in time for us and identify a place in time where you experienced some insight due to your lines of sight into the organization. And you maybe you avoided a risk. Maybe you pursued an opportunity. Don't know. Might be anything. What would you share with us when we ask for a finance strategic moment?
So, Jack, at Alpha Technologies, when I joined in 2013, a leading provider on the hardware side, made a large push into the services business. And with a higher margin hardware business, services inherently lower margin, it was a tremendous growth opportunity at a lower margin. Had a sales led organization that, hey, the hardware margin is good. We're okay. Let's not be concerned about it. Look at the blended margin. And I partnered with COO of the services at that time. We restructured our entire hierarchy. We built custom solutions with my finance organization, the project management office, our delivery organization on the services and manufacturing side. And we took a single-digit margin business and services to north of 20%, all the while growing in the nine figures. It was in transitioning the organization, Jack, from thinking about just the gross margin to the operating margin line and managing the business to the operating margin line, where decades of thinking on the revenue and the gross margin side and the rest would fall to the bottom line, and assessing a services business line. And this is changing behavior. This is changing the look of the organization. It was a very fulfilling strategic shift in how we were operating, how we went to market, how we were successful. Our delivery improved, our success improved, our ability to obtain more business, and it was a fast-growing business. Not only in the core telecom, we had a really exciting renewable business as well that had a hardware, and we added the services component. And this led to a position the company extremely well for a wonderful exit in 2018 that worked out very well for the organization. So it was extremely fulfilling, not only for myself, for excuse me, folks, not only my function, another function. Is something that I really to have success in a finance organization is to do it with the other functions enterprise wide. I find it to be most fulfilling. I find it to have the greatest results in value creation, and something that I really espouse. And it was a wonderful ride. Growth, expanded margins, and it would not have happened if we didn't have an approach, if we didn't change our approach, if we didn't shift our thinking, if we didn't provide the right data to our business partners and to drive the behavior, wouldn't have happened. It had to work together, not against each function, which is not easy at times, right? As we know, there are challenging conversations, and it was very, very rewarding in many ways.
$37,025.1. These are the three numbers to remember to get the visibility and control you need to make the right business decisions instantly. 37,000. That's the number of businesses which have upgraded to NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, streamlining accounting, financial management, inventory, HR, and more. 25. NetSuite turns 25 this year. That's 25 years of helping businesses do more with less, close their books in days, not weeks, and drive down expenses. 1. Because your business is one of a kind, you should get a customized solution for all of your KPIs in one efficient system and with one source of truth. Manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Everything you need, all in one place. Right now, download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist designed to give you consistently excellent performance, absolutely free, at netsuite.com/KPI. That's netsuite.com/KPI.
The story, we want to jump to what we refer to as our mentoring round, where I want you to think back. You shared with us how you were still within the research equity realm when you decided, you'd like to step over to the operations side of things someday. However, when you get to the operations side, there must have been something that surprised you. There must have been, if you could go back in time and just think about that person who stepped into that role, there must have been something you wish you knew. What would you tell yourself?
So I felt, Jack, that because I had accounting undergrad, I was going to walk in and I was going to understand the accounting dynamics, and it was going to be simple. It was a vertically integrated manufacturing organization that had a perpetual inventory system that had 100,000 item numbers in the system and would flow through. And I thought, and we were told, on the exterior, you buy all these technologies and these fancy ERP systems, and then you have all this great data accessible. It is so complex. You have to work so hard at structuring these systems and getting everybody to input the right data. It was an eye eye-opening experience. And it's something that I invested greatly in and got my left brain accounting side and experience that happened very quickly, that needed to happen quickly if I were to excel in the CFO chair. And it is so much more complex. If you're on the outside looking in, what it takes to assemble a global financial statement is really something that can't appreciate until you do it. Organizations are complex beasts, if you will. And it takes a lot of effort, and it takes a constant evolution. And that, Jack, that really woke me up. And it was something.
Great. Thank you for that. We always like to ask our guests to reflect a little on the personal side. Is there something in general that people don't know about you, Michael?
I don't know if this qualifies, but I'm a Formula One junkie, Jack. I've been a motorsports fan for so long. I have a motorsports quality simulation rig that I have built. And this was prior to the Drive to Survive. I don't know if you've heard of that Netflix show. A lot of folks are into this. I've been, and that's a wonderful thing, bringing more folks to the sport, more attention. But yeah, that's something that is an excellent hobby and escape for myself. So I guess the kid in me, right?
What about a book? Would you have a book selection for us or a resource maybe?
Jack, yes. The Lords of Easy Money. How the Federal Reserve Broke. And what's intriguing, Jack, is, as you can appreciate, I probably have a opinion relative to monetary policy sitting in this chair, as many of us do, in the C-suite. Really a look into quantitative easing, and was it helpful? I have my opinion. I'm not the largest fan. I wish we were doing more quantitative tightening, but a particular Fed individual, their take and history, how it came about. And I think it's very relevant given where we are with regard to the fastest movement in interest rates that we've seen, right? Capital availability, capital cost, and can give insights and thoughts on really what we're looking for next year. Also election year, really insightful look, and also something gets you to the plumbing of what quantitative easing is and what the impacts are. I highly recommend it.
Nice selection for us. We haven't had it before, so we're always happy to get a new selection. Michael, we want you to finally, this is our last question, but we want you to look forward finally for us, and we're wondering about your priorities as CFO of Rimini Street. What are those priorities over the next 12 months?
So for the next 12 months, in no uncertain terms, continue to grow our solutions offering here, giving our own insight into our unit economics where we can get out there, appropriately fund these offerings, and add the value to our clients. Keep the most important metric we have, Jack, is our 4.9 client satisfaction out of 5 scores. We can't slip on that. We have this expanded offering that we're getting out to our clients over the next 12 months. We have the ample capital to get it out there. We have to generate our returns on that and continue to operate a more efficient organization. And also help folks wade this AI tsunami. We look at it internally. We continue to look at it. We will continue to look at it and share that with our clients and allow them to run more efficient organizations and build value as well.
Michael Perica, thank you for joining us on CFO Thought Leader.
Thank you, Jack. It was a pleasure.
Hello, Thought Leader listeners. We hope 2024 is treating you well. If you haven't already, we hope you'll pay a visit to CFOThoughtLeader.com and go ahead and subscribe to our Mentoring Round newsletter where we highlight the career lessons and moments of strategic insight shared by our recent CFO guests. Also, LinkedIn users, please go ahead and follow our CFO Thought Leader company page, and you'll be certain not to miss a single Thought Leader video debut. CFO Thought Leader, the #1 thought leadership platform exclusively for and by CFOs. As always, thank you for listening.